Well, here we are, poised to endure yet another season of Doctor Who. A new Doctor, and according to Stephen Moffat, Ben Wheatley, and numerous others, this season will be a dramatic change from the previous 7. This opening episode was 35 minutes longer than a standard Doctor Who episode, so this review may get rather lengthy. Let me start off by saying that I had already seen this episode several weeks ago via the leaked online version in black and white, and upon my first viewing of it, I was not very impressed. The opening scene has to be perhaps the worst scene in the episode. The whole dinosaur thing was just silly to me. Moffat has an annoying habit of opening episodes with events that suggest that we've already missed a shitload of adventures since the close of the previous episode. Why? And let's be frank, we could have replaced the dinosaur with anything and the story still would have worked. After all, the dinosaur was only there just to give the TARDIS a grand entrance and to give the Doctor a reason to take up the spontaneous combustion mystery, which, honestly, he would have done so anyway after he saw the article in the newspaper. So, the dinosaur thing, completely unnecessary, and just there to be sci-fi. The other thing that I didn't understand about that opening scene was why all those Victorian Londoners were not disturbed by the sight of Vastra, a fucking Silurian, or worse still, Strax, a fucking Sontaran. Vastra also suggests that she lived as far back as when the dinosaurs were roaming the Earth, making her millions of years older than the Doctor, with evidently millions of years of life left. So how does that work with her and Jenny? Another thing that I noticed this time around watching is how disproportionate the dinosaur is to the TARDIS. I mean, standing straight up, the average person is about as tall as the TARDIS's windows. But in this shot, that dinosaur must be the size of a fucking airport. Just as before, there was way too much incidental music used in this episode. In fact, some of the scenes in the leaked version were not scored, but were scored in the aired version. Why? Why does every minute have to be accompanied by a score? Maybe this was intentional, but the Doctor's dialogue in that opening scene was way too much like Matt Smith's. Or was that just Moffat's writing? Lots of shaky cam in this episode too. One of my biggest gripes with this episode is why Clara is so distraught over not only the Doctor having just regenerated, but having regenerated into an appearance that's older than his previous incarnation. Didn't Clara witness all of the Doctor's incarnations in the name of the Doctor? And didn't she skim through a whole damn book about the Time War and Journey to the Center of the TARDIS? Why is this so baffling to her? Speaking of not knowing who the Doctor is, why did Jenny ask who Capaldi was in that opening scene? A blue police box has just been hurled out of a T-Rex's throat, and a man wearing the 11th Doctor's clothes has just stumbled out. And they can't figure out that he's the Doctor? When Vastra knocks the Doctor out with that mind meld, what's up with that cartoony sound effect? Fuck! Strax! The reason this episode had to be 30 minutes longer than a standard episode is because the first 30 minutes is Clara coming to terms with the Doctor's regeneration. No shit, I checked my playback whenever the Doctor and Clara noticed the robots in the restaurant, when the actual story gets rolling, and it was 30 minutes into the episode. Why was this necessary? You know who else was with the Doctor for only one season before he regenerated? Sarah Jane. Did she make a big fuss throughout the whole story of Robot? Nope. I can't believe that Moffat wrote some dialogue in there suggesting that the Doctor regenerated into a young appearance to be accepted. When has the Doctor ever given a fuck about being accepted? Accepted by whom? If the Doctor wanted to be accepted, he wouldn't waltz around dressed like this. Or this. Or this. Or hell, even this. No. Not only does the Doctor not give a fuck what other people think of him, he doesn't choose what his next regeneration is going to be like either. Not even on a subconscious level. To suggest otherwise is to violate already established canon regarding the process of regeneration. I thought his appearances were completely random. Like, he had no control over what his next incarnation was going to be like whatsoever. At least that's what the 9th Doctor said. Why does Clara deny fancying the Doctor when it was blatantly obvious that she did in Series 7? Hell, the snowman version of Clara practically raped the Doctor on screen. Another stupid scene is when the Doctor jumps off a rooftop into a tree, hangs upside down from the tree, and then jumps on a horse. Just to realize how stupid this scene is, the Doctor is hanging upside down above the horse. Correct? But in the next scene, where's the fucking tree? Well, I mean, I guess it could be out of the frame here. Maybe it's just a really tall tree. No, there's no fucking tree! Sorry, so sorry. Repeat. Sorry, so sorry. Repeat. Sorry, so sorry. Repeat. Moffat, you suck! Why did the doctor jump into the Thames? What was to be gained by jumping into freezing water? Oh, right. Drama. What was the purpose of the examination scene between Strax and Clara? I mean, other than comic relief. It didn't further either of the plots Moffat had going in this episode. I'm Scottish. Okay, Moffat, we get it. You have a Scottish fetish. The ad in the newspaper was kind of stupid too. I mean, how could they possibly know that the ad was going to be printed on the opposite side of an ad for a restaurant? Clara telling the doctor it's not okay to smile yet. Fuck you, bitch! I'm the doctor! I'll smile if I want to! You're a 27-year-old human female who doesn't even stay on the TARDIS indefinitely! You hop off after each adventure as if you're gonna miss something back home! You're nothing! You do not tell a 2,000-year-old Time Lord what he can and can't do! Strax! Okay, let me get this straight. The robots end up being the same deal as the girl in the fireplace, where they're harvesting human organs to repair their ship. And somehow along the way, repairing a ship capable of both space and time travel turns into building an escape pod out of a hot air balloon. Where are you going to escape to? You can't even escape Earth's atmosphere with that. The stupidity continues in the fight scene below, where Vastra, Jenny, Strax, and Clara are completely surrounded by robots armed with sharp blades and are closing in for the kill, and for some fucked up reason, holding your breath renders them completely invisible to robots using human eyes. In one of the closing scenes where Vastra and company are returning to her house, Vastra says that they searched everywhere for the doctor and they can't find him. Oh, damn, the TARDIS is gone. I guess we missed him. Where the fuck were you looking? The threat to Earth was over. Where did you think the Doctor was going to go? I mean, damn, what's the point of the whole the Doctor returns for his box strategy if you're going to turn London upside down looking for him? Just go wait by the fucking TARDIS, dumbass! Why did Matt Smith have to have a cameo in this episode? This is my number one gripe with it. It says a lot about the audience Moffat is aiming at when we have to devote entire scenes complete with cameos of the previous Doctor to help viewers get on board with the new Doctor. Wow! Really? 4 regenerations since 2005 and you still need to be pampered. Not only that, but we have to be given a reason to feel sympathy for the Doctor. Don't push him away. He's scared. He's terrified. He needs you. Finally, a bit of stupid dialogue. Is that the Doctor? The Doctor never refers to himself in third person. Why didn't he say, is that me? One more thing left to do. Back in March of this year, before any announcements or spoilers were out for Series 8, I made a video making my 20 predictions for this season. Moffat claims that this season will be completely different than the last 7, so I based my list of predictions on what would not need to happen if this were true. So without further ado, we'll compare this episode to my 20 predictions. I will see you next week with Into the Dalek. Number 1, the Doctor will be excessively quirky. Number 2, there will be crying. Number 3, a reference to weddings will be made in some form or fashion. Number 4, a classic villain will return, but will have completely different characteristics than were stated in their last appearance. Number 5, there will be a season-long story arc that is in some way directly related to either the Doctor or his companions. Definitely won't be something completely detached from the main characters like in The Key to Time. Number 6, the season-long story arc will incorporate paradox elements in some way. Number 7, the story arc will be something that follows the Doctor wherever he goes. Number 8, the Silurians, Sontarans, Cybermen, and Zygons will not be villains. Number 9, the Daleks will be villains, but won't kill anyone on screen. Number 10, there will be a male companion introduced to accompany Clara. Number 11, the male companion will basically be a regurgitated Mickey and Rory. Number 12, a romantic subplot will develop between Clara and the male companion, which will result in sex jokes between the Doctor and Clara as well as sexual tension. Number 13, stories will not be resolved logically and within the context of Doctor Who, but instead will be resolved within the last 5 minutes and rely on some magical inexplicable event. Number 14, Peter Capaldi's Doctor will be more like Tennant's and Smith's than Baker's and Eccleston's, despite what Moffat says. Number 15, at least one episode will involve children. Number 16, the series will maintain its excessively toddler-friendly presentation and will be as dark and scary as an episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Number 17, Murray Gold will once again revamp the Doctor Who theme, but it still won't be anything close to being synthesized, and as a result will suck compared to the mixes of the first 26 seasons. Number 18, individual episodes will rely heavily on drama produced by character development to carry the stories, rather than a good dilemma for the characters to overcome. Number 19, the Doctor will think he's found Gallifrey, but it will once again turn out to be one of Moffat's red herrings. Wolf! Wolf! Cries Moffat. Number 20, at least 2 episodes will be set on present-day Earth and will involve Clara's family.